like on one hand it's kind of nice having that student interaction, even if I don't understand what they're saying most of the time. At least there's those few that try, and that I feel like that's what really makes it worth it, to a degree. Oh my gosh. I know I started in the middle of a thought there because I forgot I was recording, but welcome back to the Naebotical Naebot. I gotta tell some people that I'm back on. Hold on. And I'm sweating a little bit. Sorry. I went outside. Oh gosh, okay, so kind of, I guess I want to save that story for when, I guess I could just tell them messenger, well, anyway, so what were we doing? We were doing a thing. I got super distracted. That was more than 10 minutes. I apologize. Because that definitely was more than 10 minutes. So, we are going to go up here first, and we're going to go to this later. So probably up. Do that. Excuse me. What was with that music? That didn't make any sense. I'm sorry! So, I started in the middle of that when I came into this, but like, okay, so listen. It was important. There was something I didn't even know, so like, okay, I went outside to get me a coffee because that's what I wanted, a coffee, right? Well, I go outside. It's freaking warm out, and like, another assistant English teacher showed up. And it turns out, like, I went out there and there's a lot of cars in that parking lot. What happened? And so she shows up and she's all like, well, oh, hi, are you going too? You gonna join us? I was like, join us for what? What's going on? She's like, the Undo Kai. What's the Undo Kai? It says, I'm like, wait, is that sports day? And she's like, yeah, sports day. And I was all like, are you serious? So the elementary school behind my house is having their sports day today. No one told me. So I'm a little salty about that. So I went and watched it for a few minutes. Sorry it took me a while, but I went and watched it for a few minutes. I got to say hi to some of the kids. I didn't really want to be out there for very long, but I was happy to stand there for a little bit. Say hi to them, watch what they were doing a little bit. They were doing some really cool tricks on unicycles, and I got to see the relay between the students and their parents, which was really cute. It's always cute. And then they're about to do the hack sack thing where it's like, or they have like these little different colored sacks. So they have like, there's the red team and the white team that the students are separated into, and they're usually competing against each other in some way. Well, this one, they have all those little sacks, little balls on the ground, and you have like a little hoop with their color on it, and you're supposed to get them up into that hoop. Little basket. And I think that's basically it. But yeah, sports day can be really fun to watch sometimes. I don't really like to sit there for the whole entire thing of it, but it was really cool to say hi to my students. One thing I wanted to note too, like one of the things that kind of makes it cool to be a teacher like this is that the interactions that I can have with the students. Like, one of them was all like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been at this school since the first semester I was here, so 2 semesters ago. But a lot of the students still know me from that time. And they're all like, oh, hi, Janae Sensei. And they're all like, oh, yeah, it's great to see you. It's been a while. And I'm like, it's so good to see you too. There's always this one student too who's always particularly excited to see us. It's kind of nice. It's like one of the things that kind of makes it worth it to be a teacher here. It's just the student interactions. They're so cute. I think overall, I think we're just really good with kids. I'm not sure what it is. But, like the assistant English teacher who helps with translating and stuff, she's all like, you keep telling that you don't have energy for kids, that you don't like to be around kids, and yet here you are, surrounded by kids, and they all love you. What the heck? And I'm all like, that doesn't mean I have the energy for them, it just means I'm good with them. What's this? This seems suspicious. Yeah, we went to kindergarten yesterday, and there were a few kids that, like, we usually go say hi to the younger kids. We do a class, but we only do the class for the oldest kids, and then we go and say hi to all the younger kids.
That wasn't a warning.
And when we were going to go say hi...
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of guard your might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping. Sandstorm scrapes like stones.
As I was saying... She forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, like these little kids. They're like, oh, read us a book, read us a book. They gave me a Japanese book. And it was all in hiragana, fortunately, so I could read it. But it was a little bit of a struggle. Anyway, I came up here first because I wanted you to see this vantage point. Because I love the vantage points. If nothing else, I love the vantage points because you get to see what it looked like back in the day before it was destroyed. And I love it. Look at
Day
this.
12.
And like what it
As we
became.
watched the booster arc up into the night sky, riding a pillar of flame, you took my hand, squeezed it, and said, "You have written the story of our family across the stars."
And you only get like little tidbits of his story, and you want more. You're like, I want the details. Like, it sounds so sad. He had a rough life. Okay, so this is what it looked like, and this is what it is now. I mean, and like the people here have taken it and built around it and everything, but it's so cool. And I'm supposed to be able to get the flower. It's around here somewhere. But yeah, so sometimes I can have really good interactions with kids, and like one of the kids was sad to see me go, and he's like, no, and I was all like, I'm glad you feel that way. It doesn't happen often, but it is nice when it happens. You feel like you're actually wanted and liked. kind of cool. This doesn't look suspicious. I had to go teach a lesson, that's how. English lessons anyway, ruining kids' lives. They're just having a tea party. Yes, I do shoot them. They're in my way. I'm pretty sure that's where the flower is. If I go up there, they're gonna attack me and everything. It's called surprise attack. Or there's an actual term for it, but I don't remember what. Oh well. Here's flower. This flower. Got an itch in my nose, which is really irritating right there. So in nature, it towers above. Really? Okay. What is in my nail? Well, I got one full set. The Bryce Orbital. So is this like a launching point then for space shuttle? That's what it sounded like was a launching point for a space shuttle. Surely didn't even orbit. Well, we have to go to the Citadel. This will be fun. This is a Shadow Carja Citadel, so this is like full of enemies. That goes, so that whole ring where they used to like launch things and everything, that's now what they call the Sun Ring, where they were used to, I think they still are, sacrificing people to the sun by having them be killed by machines in there. Kind of like gladiators, but with no hope of winning. Quest over there. I definitely should get.
I used to see Ingrid sharing his rations with the children in the camps. Hard to believe he's gone.
She's very pale. Is she unwell?
Yes. She's a fighter. But
no.
The fever
they just
on
keep
her
killing
won't
things.
lift.
They're like, oh, look, a human died.
It only burns hotter.
So they just keep it.
Her name is
away.
Shiana.
Like literally, it does nothing.
My sister.
The sacrifice
Isn't there anyone in
literally
Sunfall
does
who
nothing.
can help?
But there's people who are
We're
determined to
refugees.
believe, oh,
We
it'll
know
get better
our
if we keep
place.
sacrificing people to it.
And there's only one healer in the territory. He's difficult. His soul is in shadow.
His soul is in shadow.
Galiv. That's him. He's very clever, but he has little care for people. Perhaps the desert scoured it all away.
Yeah.
Perhaps he was
Fanatics.
always like that. Either way, I know he won't help us.
Well, I'll see about that. Where would I find him?
Last I heard, he was patching up soldiers at Blazon Arch. Another border battle. I'll keep the moon from your brow.
So these were all followers of the former Sun King, and now they're starting to realize this was a bad idea.
weird disappearances.
Weird disappearances indeed. I'm sure you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Woo. Do I have anything to sell to you? I do. Hawaiian bagels. I don't think I've ever had Hawaiian bagels. What are Hawaiian bagels? Oh, that sounds
You'll
really
like what I
good.
have for sale, I promise.
That's a behemoth.
The Sun Ring. Proud tradition.
This meridian.
Give them time. I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful.
What are you talking about? Did I crash the network or not?
In theory, all should be well. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy. I'll check back with you in a moment. Meantime, circulate.
I'll do my best. Anything up in here? Hi guys, I'm sure you're having an important meeting if you'll excuse me. Cool, thanks. I'm just gonna move right through you, alright?
Outlanders, if you want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here. Filthy mercenary bottom feeders.
I'll take the shards, even if it means having to listen to Bahavas.
I hear the Shadow Cards are looking for one of their own.
What are you waiting around for, Outlander? Bounties are announced inside.
You know what, Shadow Sun Priest? I'm gonna punch you.
The apostates started a war. Now they want us to sit on our hands?
Rude. That was a weird thing to say, but okay.
Death and chill.
Ah, Sun Priest.
By the
Bahamut.
glory of the sun revealed.
You see the prince and the queen
Behold,
up there?
radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King, the light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law.
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
By the will of radiant Edaman does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
More prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair. You and I need to chat, little huntress. The green tent down in Shadowside. I'll be waiting.
Kinda busy.
We both know you're no killer for hire. Uthid is innocent. So come see me, while there's still time to save him.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. And you needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from on high.
But the Kestrels.
Ah, they want us to see this, boy. It makes quite an impression.
Hunger.
There was something about sitting on hands. I don't remember what the guy said. He was complaining about something. That was the weird.
Hardly.
They're going to see me.
You underestimate the ease of hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, nothing I said. I always
If you're
say
gonna watch
very
some
intelligent,
slaughter,
important
this is the
things.
place to do it.
I don't like heights.
I don't like
I'm
you.
afraid
Boy.
it's a short drop from there.
I'm sure it is. You wanna hold that spot? Just a little bit. Just hold it dear to your heart. Oh, here. Okay, well, I'll just go down. Oh, this could be so sad if she missed. Alright.
The other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
It's almost like you've been
I see
here
you've
before.
been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
What? I don't think that, like, ends my... Should I do it? Should I do it? Okay, well, I have to go to the other quest eventually anyway, but I think I come back from this one just fine, so I can go after it. Pretty sure it's fine. It's fine.
I'm heading down.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure. As year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan. Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
Kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey!
Shut up.
Elizabeth Sobek here. Requesting access.
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do. Get me through this door.
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated. So by now,
Oh, yeah, bye. That's right to the spirit of the air.
You can't have everything.
Air, how dare you!
attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So,
hold on.
What was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Okay, so the reason why the door acknowledged me is because I am literally the genetic makeup of Elizabeth Sobeck from way back when. Like, literally, I'm like a clone. It explains it in detail later. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Another incident from lounge staff. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as a staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators fluent in Polish, for example. Security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. If we're having trouble... support too. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing ZD candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused, some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At the minimum, we need human translators, the Naebots are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these mails. Like, talk to us! You're not passive-aggressive at all.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Soundproofing. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and a lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought! Just a thought! For the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varietals, I am going to lose it. Please respond. And this time, no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes, okay? They're going through a tough time. They're going through a tough time. Oh my gosh. Nothing else here, eh? Okay.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth, the planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating. Waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it. Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing...
What just happened? Oh my gosh, what just happened? Like literally the lunch chime goes off and everything freezes. It wasn't disconnected. I don't understand what that was about. That was weird. We're just gonna resume.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Might as well have been.
Someone here.
No. Look at it again.
It is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people, they feed off them?
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolves into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life produced some bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pate wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
I mean, I don't blame him. In the least.
Want to discuss? Oof. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, it was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeet was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty, too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place? You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
I don't know what those are, and I'm not sure I want to.
You previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
What zombies? Are you talking about the robots? Robots weren't zombies. Oh, these guys? No, these are the Shadow Carja dudes. The Kestrels that got in. I'm sure you would have liked them to be zombies, wouldn't you? Can you say that any more dumbfounded? I'll survive!
We're
No,
too
you won't.
close to let tribal crypto stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
What do you think I've been doing? Kind of was, I guess. He was carrying a weapon, is why he looked like that.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of
It's a
why we
heavy
brought you
weapon.
here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we could negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
Well, why not? Oh, there you are.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said. Not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Right about me? Or below me? You're right. Where are you? Oh, you're up there. How do I get up there?
There is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things? I know that there's already a lot to take in. In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the Pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible. But it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die? We're going to be able to answer some of these questions. I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me. You were brought here because of your skill set. No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
Okay, this brought me back out to the beginning. Good to know. All packed away, that's sad. That's true, like a lot of the main storyline is really a lot, I'm hearing a lot of just the whole sad story. That was a short. Okay. A medical ward. I think I got all of the things.
CDO2 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news.
She does
and it's all true. The Pharaoh plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, It would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all.
There's Hephaestus.
And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
So I told you all those robots had a purpose. Well, not the killer ones, the other ones. I mean, I guess the killer ones had a purpose too.
Destroyed, but then remade?
Yes, by a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how'd it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
And Hephaestus, taking over Cyan. I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Oh, the counselor guidelines. Okay. For debriefing after presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. No kidding! Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly, but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic event, environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Addendum B1, and unfeasibility of the maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures, Addenda C1, C2, C3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. If a candidate asks for some time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to Presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus, security, and medical crisis teams are probably at hand. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. Participation. You will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. Wow. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. Medical euthanasia! The information you have just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice or if you have further questions. Like... holy crap. Just like... yeah, oh my god, it's just holy crap. Yes, this is 960 some years later, after or when it's extinct. So you remember Elizabeth mentioned in her presentation, the cradle facilities. Those facilities were created for the sole purpose of, like, they have artificial wombs where they take the genes and all that stuff you need to create a baby. And it puts it automatically together and makes a baby. You actually get to see one of them later, so I'll try to make sure that you get to see what the cradle facility looks like. So that explains a lot of how the humans still exist. Yes, that's where the current humans are from. Is from cradle facilities, because humans from back then kind of don't exist no more. They kind of died almost 1,000 years ago, so yeah, I kind of had to work with what they had. For debriefing after presentation 2, it is vitally important that candidates choose to participate voluntarily and knowingly, without coercion. That's more counselor stuff. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection. In other words, take into account how serious this whole event is. Pretty much the stuff that we already read. Is just saying treat them fairly and kindly. This is a tough situation. Be nice about it. There's more over there.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom?
I was wondering about that.
I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
If you're still nauseous. No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timor. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock? Yep. You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety. I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family? I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years. I knew it. True. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
So Elysium, you don't ever get to see that, but they built like an underground facility where the rest of the humans that participated in this were little humans. They put down there where they could live up to 100 years with the resources that they had left. Essentially, it's where the last of the human race died out. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like she said. No, the facility is up top. These are different facilities. Elysium is a whole nother place where like the families go, and that's where they can be in safety and stuff until they finally die of old age or just die of whatever. The other people that have their families down there, all the workers for this project and everything, will be up here in these facilities. We'll see where they worked. Well, I don't know if I would have that option, because I don't think any of us have any expertise in the particular fields that they would have us, so chances are I would probably just die of a robot. Get eaten, pulverized into human mush.
See to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Alert. Medical wing inaccessible.
I don't know, I'm accessing it, so there. What's this? Stranded shackles. Stranded shackles? What is that? That's not what I meant. That's fine. Inventory. Like, if I were there in that facility and, like, I was given one of those options, I probably would work on the project, honestly. Might as well. Get what I done, can, and accomplished before I die. And once it's all said and done, then I would go with the euthanasia. Because all that's left to accomplish is accomplished. Nothing more to do. Stranded shackles. What the heck are these? Oh, is it like handcuffs? I didn't really look at. I should have looked at them better before I picked them up, but they're like handcuffs. Oh, no, that's just gross. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I look everywhere too, not just for the sake of getting all the data points, but also to guarantee that I don't miss anything. Because I know I need, in one of these places, I don't remember where exactly, but one of these places I have to get the last of the power cells, and those can be tricky to find sometimes. Like, you can easily miss where they are. Is that where I came from? Over this way. Yes. Okay. Nothing else in here. Okay. I think it would just absolutely suck to be stuck down with a bunch of people in the Elysium. That doesn't sound like
intruder.
A good way to end it.
Get her.
Excuse me, where did you even come from? No. Stop it. That hurts. I mean intruder. Y'all intruded first. I was here. Before y'all, this place is mine. I lay claim.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years.
No kidding.
So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this, and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic, attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe, anyway.
Yeah, see, I think it would be horrifying to be stuck down there for the rest of my life. It would suck.
Power's down.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Suve? Christina Suve?
Yes? I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now? And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural it'd be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Okay, I mean, granted. I mean, if y'all are medically sterilized at that point, I guess you could have all the fun you want down there. Just taking.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration.
Left, up, left, down, right. Left, up, left. Down. Down. Right.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
You wanna wait a second? Oh, that's upside down. I see what you did there.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Alright, cool. Sure. Oh. Sure thing. Oh, why is that even showing up on my screen? Yeah, here. I want up. I want up. Up. Oh, up.
There's a part missing.
I'm
Maybe
well
there's
aware.
a storage area nearby.
Is there a way to get up there? Excuse me. It's the only way I can think of. Let me up. Let me up. Let me up. Hello, give me. Let me up. Let me up. Well, why not? Let me up. Yes. Alright, fine. Is there a window here? Yes. It looks like there should be a way to get up there. What up there? How the heck in... Maybe there's like a... Let me... Well, okay. So there's this door. Do you take me where I need to go, or is this like a whole nother area? Because this is a whole nother area. Oh no, this takes me where I need to go. Well, that's nice. Maybe. Aha! Alright, yeah, we're good.
Found one. Looks intact.
Perfect. Let's go over here. Install it. Thank you.
That should do the trick.
Alrighty.
Let's get that door open.
Yay, congratulations! This is upside down. We need a down, left, up, right, down. Down, left, up, right, down. Well, I'm gonna start on this side because everything's upside down instead, so I'm gonna scroll that down. Left would be this way. Oh, wait. Wait. Should this be up or is this down? Down, left, up. Right. Oh wait. No, that would have been up. Alright, well let's do the normal way up. So it'd be like down, left, up. I did it backwards anyway, didn't I? Right, down. Did it wrong.
That did it. Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
You've been trying for 2 days. That game's not good for you, I don't think. Oh! They didn't hear my steppy steps.
Here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. 2nd floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
We never avoid contact. I don't know what nonsense you go on about because I never avoid contact. Yeah! I love how they don't even notice how this... Excuse me, music?
So they woke up.
What? You're still alive? There is some very dramatic music going on.
One way out of this.
Oh, I accidentally hit the other guy, but that worked out. Alright, cool. You're the last one. Coming to the open, I dare you. This music is very dramatic. Like, ridiculously dramatic. In my ear.
Here!
Who are you telling?
That's the last of them.
Maria.
Or not.
Oh, hi, guys. You coming at me, bruh? No. I don't need you and your guns to cause me
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
got too much already.
Yeah. Alright, first of all, as awesome as that gun is, no. Interesting. How do I get up there? Well, not important. So I'm gonna go this way.
Hello,
Oh,
I'm
my
Margot
gosh!
Shen, and this is
What?
Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So like, you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it. If Hephaestus was part of a system designed to save life, why would it use cyan to make a cauldron? And churn out machines with no other purpose than to kill people?
Somehow it's gone rogue. I don't understand why or how. But whatever the reason, it explains why machines have become more dangerous over the years.
Could have been taken over by Hades. Probably. Margot, if I doubled your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. Or if I doubted, I'm sorry. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction of and stocking of bootstrapped silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry Core and the Foundry Site Selection Plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail. Consult with Iomide Okilo before you finalize the silo inventory. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Elizabeth. Oh yeah, Minerva's that one. You give me another heart attack. Simulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphology. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning their loss. And not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks of, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Margot. Wow. I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. There's that. Anything else in here?
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
What shapes? What shapes? I'll move on then. Nothing else here. Did I miss two though? Yeah. Or notebook. Did I miss one? I hate it. Oh no! Did I miss one? I don't know. God. I imagine I can still come back here. But that's irritating. Oh, this is the... Oh wait, what was that? Oh, it's that one. This is up above there. Okay, I'm good.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Yes, there does.
Keep looking.
I will, thanks. That bit of advice.
More clips.
Nuh-uh.
Careful now.
Aw, man. Y'all see nothing. Y'all hear nothing. Anybody up here? No. Yeah. It really does it. That music really does get your heart rate up. It's kind of cool in a way. Like, it's good music. It really, very apt for the situation, but it's really intense. Are you saying something down there? Couldn't hear you. Over my yelling. Data point. My favorite. Ooh, stairs. Even better. Is there suspicious smoke in here? No. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaju. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement.
Oh, yes,
Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world, ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries, 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Okay. Yeah. And the winner is encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions, magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS was shilling a year or so ago. But every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems in sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I dream it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you, Samina. I feel the most bad for Samina, and later you'll know why. Apollo update. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. Wow, I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset. With attendant curricula development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia persona. Oh, Aristotle and Aspasia. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Peace be with you, Sabina. So Aristotle and Aspasia they must have been the two helpers in the cradle facilities that gave off like the dad and the mom personas. Excuse me, I have to kill all these guys. Can't see past my...
This is where it ends.
That was... You know, with all the noise he makes, how have you not noticed? For real.
Forget about traveling light.
Got someone down over here. Something looks good.
I can't believe he noticed. I honestly can't believe he noticed. Oh, that was beautiful. Maybe I shouldn't say that about a human death, but maybe if they were jerks.
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
In what should have been a cave of wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
I got their corpses. That count? What this? What you? This looks interesting.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning, and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory. A falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
It's okay, boy. I forgive you. Not this area. I just want to make sure I got it all. It seems like I have. It's all back this way. Double checking. Move back.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's extinction.
It was all your fault!
The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocating. But you get the idea.
You get the idea.
Takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct? And how's it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
If Hephaestus went rogue, why not Hades too?
That's what I'm thinking, but why? And what caused it?
Keep searching, and perhaps we'll find the answer.
Noise complaints. Tate. Tate. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore? Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying. You know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazz. Nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Citterim runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave, and she was religious. Now, no, that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music. 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal-themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore you'll see, or hear, rather, in the screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling, swelling you up like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal, might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident fits. Last I heard, we was supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? Nah, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trav. What did I just read? No, I wanted this. Tate here, just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in stipulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it denigrated the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done his business, so they had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control in simulation after simulation. Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky, I swear. Ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are pretty strong. Guess it's time to sleep in bed. I'll back to it tomorrow, alligators. Aw, getting some depression in there, buddy. I mean, I don't blame you again, but yeah. Ouch. Archive abuse. Good. From Samina Abachi to Travis Tate. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archive submission 0000238876. Your 666th submission in just 5 days, and ooh, what a doozy! Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classes of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experience not just 1, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolina material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. 2, for clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught from obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance. I know it when I see it. Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Dr. Samina Abachi. sure this guy was fun to be with in the last moments of humanity. That was that. Okay. We get to go through
Looks
a
like
crevice.
the only way onwards.
Hey, look, boy. This looks
Welcome
like
to
oh my
Eleuthia,
gosh,
the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist.
Oh, this is Eleuthia.
I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
There you go. So that's the guy who created the cradle facilities. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation. Astonishing. Revelation even, huh? I don't know what you had to go to give, or what? I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith and trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved, nutrition delivery resolved, hormonal stability resolved, 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand, but if the rest of FC's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. I think it solved all the questions that you had about these things. It was kind of cool. Cradle Servitor Persona. Development of the artificial persona for Cradle Servitors, Nurturer, Disciplinarian, Healer, continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. Hi, Aletha, what? The stimulus-driven switching of persona, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially considering our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer persona. Thank you. I know I am. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother persona intervened on a disciplinary servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings. So he also helped the creation of the servitors as well, that were used, that had to be in these facilities, the cradle facilities, to interact with and help raise the children that would come out of these artificial wombs.
Are these what I think they are?
Artificial wombs? Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Eleuthia 1 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards my disputes with the betas over zygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Donc, in addition to personally overseeing completion of the Ulithias O2 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within a week. PBK. I imagine they didn't really have a lot of zygotes to choose from. Like this, they'd have to take from the humans that, you know, still existed. And it's really cool too, because when you think about it, they have these places all around the world, these cradle facilities, and you only see a portion of it. I think we're technically in what would have been the United States way back when. And so, like, it's really neat. So it's like there's also
cradle
places of what would have been left of China and
Elizabeth
stuff.
said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Obey.
Nuts would benefit from antilopinae morphologies, though campered forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good. You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
And now she says something at this point. I wonder what she said.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
From your mistakes,
I think you mean?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Ted was such an ass. Well, here we go.
No space.
The Odyssey has failed. From Elizabeth Sobeck to all Alphas, Odyssey has failed. All some terrible news, I'm afraid. Farzine has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed, Elizabeth. Okay, so I remembered this a little incorrectly. So this was something that they sent, that they built to try to preserve human life on, like, a ship up in the sky. Like on another world, perhaps, and then it just didn't happen. Yeah, well, for the other robots, I don't want a deactivation code for Gaia. Gaia's fine. We kind of need Gaia, so... But for Hades, on the other hand, that's where the problem is Hades. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything, had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs, more than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere. Microorganisms in insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves, thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them, so they can return to a world that, this time, will understand the concept of a conservation before it's too late. Do we have hawks? We do have hawks. We have rabbits, hawks, and foxes, but there was no wolves. There's already been too many, too late. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday will be again. But not now. Not like this. Not on our watch. Well, I guess we got to do this thing.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
No! No! I've been exploded. Sup, creep?
Still alive. Good. I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child.
Helis, was that you? Oh, looky, I'm
My
in a
entire
cage.
life, I've always known one thing with prophetic certainty. That I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate? Why fail my destined purpose?
I don't know, Helis. Maybe because you're a freaking failure. I like the sass on that one, trying to bore me to death. I can mention Rost. You killed Rost. I'm salty about that. You know, I'm gonna say Rost. I'm gonna say it was all
scar
because
on
of
your
Rost.
cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well. For a savage.
You mean
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
The better man is the one who doesn't end up with his guts steaming on the ground.
That's a lovely image.
No.
Thank you, Helis.
It wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked. But I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts. Haunted every step.
You're still
It was
talking.
only when I captured you,
I do find it.
down
you have
in that
bullets,
place,
literal bullets,
that I
as
finally
accessories.
glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of
Nails.
events.
I love it.
You were meant to survive that day on the mountain.
Impressive.
Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Conversely,
Just don't go near fire. Though.
I was meant to
Of course,
capture
they're
you
old enough. Probably doesn't matter.
here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
You're a thug. You're a fool. You're a puppet. Considering the circumstances, I mean, he is kind of a puppet. He's a fool too. I mean, he's also kind of a thug.
Some destiny. You're following orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings. A pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable
He does it willingly.
if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then get this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh, speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
Excuse me. I mean, I'll make a lovely sacrifice, but that's not gonna happen because I'm too powerful. I'm too powerful for this bow! Cast me out. Venus Slaughter. They're irrelevant. I'm gonna say they cast me out to try to...
The Nora cast me out at birth. You're not hurting me if you hurt them.
Really? Then it makes no difference one way or another.
God bless
In
America.
any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe. Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events? Your focus. Such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile.
I needed that! That was a weird noise.
So you see, this time, I did not hesitate. The knife has already been twisted.
That wasn't creepy at all. Just a little disturbing. This makes me shiver every single time. It's like one of those guys that really sends shivers down your spine. Like, ugh.
Rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead. And Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day. Behold! Your seats! Can you not see the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause?
I like how even the other machines like literally kind of try to hide away from them. I'm like, no, don't do it, I don't wanna.
Many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. mighty as the radiance in the eye of the sun, but it is mightier still in viewing the power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die.
You calling me a snake?
Let her be the first of thousands.
Episode's running a little long, but it kind of beats how I'm gonna run now. Bye!
My weapons are up on the platform. There's no way out of this thing. Maybe I could use the strength against it.
Okay, running. What? You went through it? That's not how this works. Nope. I need you to literally destroy that pillar that you're walking through! Oh, you cheater! You're such a cheater! Well, I'm gonna go over here. Come get me.
Getting ready to charge. That pillar's weak.
Yay!
Another hit, and that pillar will come down.
Oh gosh!
I wasn't built to take a behemoth's charge either. He's going to charge.
Right this way.
It's down.
That's right, give me my box of stuff, I dare you. I changed quick!
Big dumb target. Come and get it!
All, everything. I gotta, like, go on. Go this way, and then grab this one, and make it this way. I thought I saw a weapon over here, but I did not. Alright, well.
That canister on the belly. Looks important.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna be over here salvaging this behemoth. Don't mind me. Oh, don't look so shocked. I'm too awesome for you. Fool! Fight me! Come down here and face my wrath. I frickety dare you!
Kill her.
Fine, I'll kill them first. But then I'll kill you!
Kill her!
Why leave it to them? Come get me yourself!
See? He's scared of me. much of a lunatic as you are. You sucker. What's up, Styler?
So you're here. Really here. You risked your life.
That was pretty epic.
Of course I did. If you'd been killed, the Nora's sacred mountain would never have given up its secrets.
Wow.
Too bad you wasted your time then. Helis destroyed my focus. And the Alpha Registry with it.
Not at all. The whole time I've been monitoring your focus, I've duplicated every data file you scanned. Installing that data to a new focus was trivially easy. Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You're really good at making it impossible to like you, Silence. But I guess I need this.
It's time to see where you were born. Maybe you'll even learn why.
That's the very first thing she scanned,
meet the machine that birthed me into this world. Isn't that how you put it?
I'll be off.
Wait.
Yes?
Since when can you override machines?
Ever since you discovered the technique. I had to destroy a corruptor to obtain the necessary parts, of course. But your example showed me how to do that as well. Yet another benefit of monitoring your activities through the focus.
Wires.
Truth be told, the underlying logic of the technique isn't so different from rites practiced by Banuk shamans. Though, of course, far more advanced.
Great. You're welcome, I guess. How did you track my location when I wasn't wearing a focus?
Well, the focus was still there.
It doesn't take a genius to surmise that Helis would throw you into the sun ring at high noon. I wore out 2 striders getting here in time, but I did.
Like, it does look pretty cool,
now be on
but
your
I
way.
can... ow. I just... Ow. Ow.
Helis recognized you back in the sun ring. You told me that you'd assisted the eclipse. Not that you knew the man who killed my... who almost killed me.
So now you know. The man is a serious threat. So let's do all we can to make sure that he and Hades don't succeed.
Right. I'll be on my way. To make matters worse, Helis ordered an Eclipse detachment to attack the Nora Sacred Land. The tribe's already weak. They won't stand a chance. You should come with me.
Well, absolutely not. I have preparations to make elsewhere.
He's got priorities
What
over
kind
human
of-
lives.
Why do I bother asking? You're not gonna tell me.
When the time is right, I'll be in touch. I'll contact you later. In the meantime, should you need to return to Shadow Karja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity.
You think of everything, don't you?
One of us has to. Aloy, when you were recovering the Alpha Registry down in the Zero Dawn bunker, I was needlessly cruel.
At least he has something of a
For
heart,
your
though.
sake,
So that's nice.
I hope there is someone waiting there for you inside the mountain. Not a what, but a who. Yeah!
Bye, Silence! Fairly well. Thanks for saving my butt. I mean, I could have done fine, but thanks for saving my butt. And load. Yay! Success! Where the heck am I? Oh, I'm over here. That makes sense. Well, I need to go there. I need to go do this. I need to go do that. Well, okay. I'm gonna save. Is what I'm gonna do. Is a big thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna stop this episode right here. I'm actually gonna start up again pretty soon, though. Get off the horse. Thank you. I need to go save. And then we'll continue on our merry way to do the cool stuff. Like, I really like the next quest that I want to do, the trader one with the bounties and stuff. That one gal talked to me up there about. I like that quest a lot, so I'm gonna go do that one next. And Aletha, would you be able to watch if I start another episode up, or should I save that quest for... Well, I guess all I have left to do is that quest, find the healer, and then the All Mother Mountain for the main quest. I gotta go do all of those, but Okay.
Sun's making a show of it.
Well, I guess you can always come back and watch the recordings if you want to see it too, so it's not so bad. Well, thanks anyway for watching. And for those of you coming in later, thanks for watching. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, Naebot, and follow me here on Twitch at Naebotical Naebot. And again, thanks so much for watching it. Good day, sayonara. Konnichiwa is a greeting. Or like hello, not goodbye. But yes, I know you won't die, but I really like it when you guys get to see the really cool stuff. I think it's awesome. So it's kind of a disappointment that you won't be here for it, but oh well, I'm sorry. Alright, well you have a really good night, and see you all later. Bye.